Well, I've got the base for the culture for my raised garden beds. So there's 11 raised uh, galvanized watering troughs that I'm using for raised garden beds. I've drilled 11 holes in them, so 11, 11. Um, and then each one, as you can see, has its own little variety of uh, hardwood, mainly birch. Could even be entirely birch. Starting with larger log, and then finer into little teeny branches at the top. And I just threw some bits of already decaying wood of the same in with it. I figure it's already in a slightly advanced stage of what's going to happen anyways. And here is 9, 10, and 11. Same thing. Rocks at the bottom, larger pieces of wood, then sort of arm, wrist size branches, and then finger size branches, and then just little twigs. So that's an accomplishment. And tomorrow, very early, I get up. Maybe 5:30. I got to be on the road at 6:30. Going to do my walkthrough of our new trailer and pay the balance. I was interesting today. It's that friggin' multitasking distractions. I'm on the phone on an answer machine thing, on hold, and so I decided that I'm going to get in this little guy here and start gathering the wood I needed. So I'm trying to hear in case it answers. And someone comes on the line, but I'm still trying to get things done so I don't waste time, because sometimes you can spend hours on these things. So someone answers and they're looking into things for me, and I had just, when they answered, I turned off the vehicle so the noise of the engine wouldn't prevent me from hearing this person. And stopped, and I'm talking to them, and I'm jotting things down, and then I hear a little sound, and I look back, and my little wagon, this little red wagon here, trailer, if you want to call it that, has disconnected and is rolling backwards down the hill, full of branches up to here. So I'm speaking to this person on the phone, trying to not sound like I'm running down a hill chasing a wagon full of wood that's running away from me. So that was really weird, but kind of funny. You had to laugh. Oh, yeah, right now the black flies are really bad. The mosquitoes not so much. That'll be a bit later. But it's starting to get. It's in between. I'm starting to get used to them, and it's starting to get too much, all at the same time. But I'm looking forward to being on the road tomorrow, just to get into a different environment for a little bit. I need to just get away from bugs. That's an absolute. My little. Things here just blew off. Come on. Just trying to get more, and to of course do it with the other hand holding the phone. Hopefully that stays there. That's always my hand washing water, or boiled spinach water for the dog food. Everything's got multi-purposes. Got to do a little bit of stuff's been rinsed, but now it's all full of pine needles, even though it was cleaned. That's what you learn. Nothing is clean in the sense of clean, like an indoor clean, but I think very probably better for you than sterile. But to each his own. I'm just starting to relax into it. Did I turn this off? I always like to make sure that's off as well. This is actually a nice time to relax a little bit, get things ready for tomorrow so I don't have to run around like a chicken with my head cut off in the early morning. And make my dinner, play with the dogs. And then Friday, the house comes to town and it's going just over there. I cannot wait. And then at some point, hydro connects. Yeah, it's a beautiful little area here. I really, really like it. It definitely spoke to us. Because I mentioned earlier in other videos that we didn't plan. We still at first thought we were moving somewhere else, still out. We didn't want to go back to a small town the same, but we were considering moving a little bit closer. We really strongly looked into that possibility, but just didn't want to have that which comes with what you have to give up to be closer. And that's besides the cost of housing closer. It was just, we'd look at places and go, it's already feeling like our neighbors are too close, that kind of feeling. And this piece that we were going to just hang on to as an investment, maybe sell it, maybe just, who knows, maybe for a little cottage thing, because we do like the area. And then we just, who knows who said it first, but we both thought to each other as we walked down here and just said, you know what? We always like it down here. The dogs like it. It's the mouth of trails, so it's the perfect spot. And we both agreed. Let's just, we first thought, well, let's renovate the shed into a workshop and studio. And then we thought, well, can't really afford to do a house and this at the same time, so let's do a kind of a temporary live and work space here with the idea that eventually we would have a separate place. So we're at the step before that step, actually I'm at the step before that step. The next step is the trailer that we're getting on Friday. The step after that will be, besides things like hydro and a well that we're going to have to hold off for a bit because we didn't get our financing, and the septic. So once we have our trailer, get things going there, then probably next year, start working on renovating the barn or the shed, building other little outbuildings, just kind of setting up the village, so to speak, and then somewhere down the road, and who knows, like I'm toying around with the idea of just making a few little no permit necessary kind of buildings, and then if I feel like I'm having a good time and I've learned quite a bit on those little ones, then maybe I'll build us a small-ish house. I don't want like a tiny house, but I don't want a big one either. Our workshop's all going to be here. We've always lived, worked, same space, so we won't need a big house. And who knows, maybe I'll make a nice log cabin or something. I'm really opening myself up to all possibilities, all potentialities. Just heart open exercise now. in my living. Everything is about that. I don't want conflict, but at the same time, I don't. It's a delicate balance. I always shied away from conflict because of the trauma from my father's abusing me. I found that any kind of conflict, any kind of aggression